Al's will make sure your car is ready to take your family on vacation when you head out cruising on a lonely highway all alone, no one around for miles and miles.
Al's D&I Repairs, Sturgis Road, Rapid City.
Have you seen some of those never-ending building projects around the hills? Well, if you want your post-frame building built with all the warranted materials included and you want it completed on time, call MPF Buildings of Blackhawk at 787-4967 or email mickelspostframe@aol.com. MPF Buildings, new steel roofs and post-frame buildings built the way you expect your building to be. Owner-operated for over 30 years. Phone 787-4967.
No one has a handbook for what we're living through today, which is why the experience you have access to makes all the difference in how you make it to tomorrow. For decades, Dakota Bank has worked with ag producers through industry, economic, and regional changes. We're committed to agriculture. We're committed to the producers and families that make our communities great. Go with commitment, experience, and integrity. Dakota Bank, banking, insurance, mortgage, and trust. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Insurance and trust not FDIC insured.
In Rapid City, you've got a friend in real estate. Hi, I'm Ellen Roach. When buying or selling your home or property, Will Dixon is the man to see.
Will invites you to experience the Keller Williams culture. Whether you're buying or selling, he can assist you through the entire process with a free market analysis and advise you on all your options. Will handles all phases of real estate and has built a track record for success. Call Will Dixon at Keller Williams Black Hills, 390-1140, and let him be your friend in real estate.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City. This is the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM. Fox Sports Rapid City.
We are Fox Sports! And here's what you need to know.
5-day games in Major League Baseball. They're all finals. The White Sox, with the best overall record in the majors, won a 6th game in a row, beating Minnesota 4-2. The win to Lance Lynn, 5 innings, no earned runs, 9 strikeouts. The White Sox record 22-13. St. Louis won again, record of 23-15 after a shutout victory at Milwaukee 2-0, and the win to Jack Flaherty, who's now 7-0. Meanwhile, Detroit sent Kansas City to an 11th straight loss, holding them off 4-3. The Royals did get 2 in the 9th to make it interesting. Washington ended a 4-game losing streak with a 5-1 win over Philadelphia. Phillies catcher JT Realmuto was out due to illness. Phils allowed 4 runs in the first. Toronto scored 4 runs top of the 9th for an 8-4 victory at Atlanta. Ronald Acuna did lead off the game with a homer, his 12th of the season. That leads the majors. Coming up in a half an hour, San Francisco at Pittsburgh in the NBA tonight. 76ers can clinch the 1 seed in the East. I'm Steve.
It's time for the only live and local sports talk show in the Black Hills. This is the Nate Brown Show, featuring live callers, live interviews, and local sports. Exclusively on 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City. And streaming online right now at foxsportsrapidcity.com. From the biggest national names to the hottest local stories, welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
Well, good Thursday afternoon. We are back, ready to go. A little hiatus yesterday from the show. We had some baseball live on Fox Sports Rapid City. You're home for Post 22 baseball with Adam Birch over in Gillette. The Hard Hats with a split yesterday in the doubleheader. And now we're back on a Thursday, better than ever, I think. The Nate Brown Show live, your sports, your show. It's always a great day in the Black Hills. You know that. We got a great show for you today. Good stuff. We're going to check in with another FCS National Championship preview. I told you we're going to have something on this show every day, counting down to Sunday, the noon start time on ABC. The Jackrabbits trying to win their first FCS National Championship, and Coach John Stiglmeyer is going to join us live today. They get set to leave for Frisco tomorrow, so we got Coach Stig live from Brookings as he wraps up preparation for the big matchup against Sam Houston Sunday. Coach Stig is on the way. Also, into the NFL schedule a little bit. Want to break down who has a hard schedule, who has an easier schedule. Eric Eager, Pro Football Focus analyst, looking at the schedule. Eric Eager, PFF. going to jump into the college football ranks a little bit. Pac-12 making that announcement with a new commissioner today, and he had like one major focus. There's going to be a lot of focuses for a commissioner, right? What can a commissioner do in college sports these days of a conference? We're going to break down kind of the big focus for the Pac-12 commissioner. I think he's right on track. I really do. Zach Barnett, college football writer, Football Scoop, he's on the way. He was covering the situation with the Pac-12 today. Zach Barnett on tonight. And we're going to get Brian Henshin, Sioux Falls Argus leader, high school sports writer. He just wrote a big article about how close are we to looking at high school baseball sanctioning. How close are we? Brian Henshin did some digging. We're going to get him on the program live from Sioux Falls straight ahead. And Lee Sterling on tonight. We haven't talked to Lee for a long time. He's got some best bets and now that you know where the schedule's at in the NFL side, he's got some best bets for NFL futures. Oh, the Buccaneers are going to be favored in every game. Can you believe that? Tom Brady and the Bucs, you're going to favor them in every game, Las Vegas? We'll break down with a handicapper, Paramount Sports, Lee Sterling. He's live from Miami. Jam-packed Thursday show, the Nate Brown Show, brought to you by the Rehab Doctors, our partners, and they're the non-operative experts in the Black Hills. I'll tell you this, you have an injury, a nagging injury, see the Rehab Doctors for pain relief without surgery. A lot of options and a great team. Rehab Doctors online at therehabdoctors.com. Take your first step to feeling better for pain relief without surgery. The official sports medicine physicians of the Rapid City Rush. That's therehabdoctors.com. Let's throw out the numbers. We get started on a Thursday. We're going to get after it here. 720-1067. Join the program there live. 720-1067. The Boss Pizza and Chicken Sports Line live for you. And the Barron's Wilson text line. Same number. Direct text the show. That'll come in right here. 720-1067. Okay. Everybody's breaking down the NFL schedule every which way, right? You've been hearing that on TV, on radio. You've been hearing the NFL schedule and what's happening with it. I'm not going to look at the big NFL schedule. I'm not going to look at every game. This matchup, week 3, week 5. Oh, this highlight game, that highlight game. I'm going to look at a message that's being sent to guys like me. This is a difficult message to get today. This is a difficult message, a needed message to get to me, but a difficult message to take. I'm admitting on the show today, on this Thursday, as a Denver Broncos fan. You all know I'm a Broncos fan, right? Some of you call me a Broncos homer. Some of you call me a Broncos hater, and I'm too tough on them. I'm going to try and tell you today, I admit, I think optimism when I think Broncos every season. I'm one of those fans. I think maybe if we have this great defense, we got a little better on the offensive line, maybe we're going to squeak by and get in there 9 wins. I've always said that, right? You guys have given me trash about that. You said, you've been saying 10-6 for the last 3 years. And it hasn't quite worked out that well. I'm always optimistic. I have a good friend of mine. He's a Broncos fan. He has turned pessimistic. The message that we get from the NFL today, I'm not going to break down week 1, week 2, week 3 of the Broncos or your favorite team. I'm going to tell you, the message is very clear from the NFL about the Broncos today. That is not me as a homer, not me as a hater. This is the message about where the Denver Broncos organization is at. They have gone from one of the best, most powerful brands in the league, one of the most interesting organizations, well-run organizations in the league, Super Bowl champions. They've gone from that to what? The NFL is sending a message to me and you of what? The Denver Broncos are joining the category of non-interesting, not good, and a team that's really a little bit forgotten about. A team that doesn't quite get the interest, doesn't quite get the attention that they used to get. I'm not speaking out of turn when I say the Broncos, one of the most powerful brands in the league, from the fan base to the brand to Elway, the Super Bowl championships. The Broncos have always been a team that's been up there, and now they've fallen since Super Bowl 50. the fall has been drastic, and it finally just hit me today as I looked at the scenario that happened with this NFL schedule. What's happened? The harsh reality is, here's the category the Broncos are in. When you look at the schedule, they're one of the teams that get one primetime game from the NFL. Now, what does that tell you? What does that tell you? The NFL is putting on primetime games, the Monday night footballs, the Sunday night footballs, with really strong organizations, strong competitive teams, interesting players. They want interesting storylines. It's entertainment. It's TV. The Broncos, again, here's the category they're in. They're almost forgotten. They're in the category of one primetime game, and it's just one of those ugly Thursday night games. It's one of those ugly Thursday night games that people forget about. You know, the ones where we have to struggle through the Bengals and the Jets. You know, hey, the Bengals and Jets are playing Thursday night football. Are you excited? That's the category the Broncos have been put in. I'm not making it up. The NFL sent the message last night as the schedule got finalized and released. And then you're going to say, hang on a second, the Aaron Rodgers situation changes this. It may. That's the big outlier. That's the big outlier. Otherwise, no Aaron Rodgers, there's nothing. No Aaron Rodgers, there's nothing. Who is in this category of one primetime game? Do you want to know? Who's in this category of one primetime game if you don't believe me? If you don't believe me, if you think I'm just over-exaggerating the fall, who's in this category? I took a look at it here. One primetime game from the NFL. The Bengals, the Lions, the Jaguars, the Jets, the Texans, and yours truly, the Broncos. Are those brands as powerful as the Broncos? Are you telling me we've become the Cleveland Browns when they were the Cleveland Browns? Thanks for calling. You're live, and you go ahead.
And you're shocked by this, Nate?
Yeah, I am. This is a proud organization.
Nate.
This is a proud organization.
Nate, you sold your soul for that last Super Bowl.
What do you mean? Peyton
you
Manning.
sold your soul.
What do you mean? We had a good couple of years there.
Peyton Manning, all he did was not fumble and turn the ball over. That was probably his worst statistical year.
His last year wasn't great.
NFL.
No, his last year wasn't great, but he was good prior to that.
Nate, look at all the money you spent. You put it all into I can't remember what you paid Manning. It wasn't too bad, but you put all your money into Peyton Manning. You haven't had a quarterback since. So, you know, this is like the Aaron Rodgers deal. This is why I'm laughing. I'm hoping you get Deshaun Watson. I'm hoping you get Aaron Rodgers because you're going to put all your money into that. And then a year or two down the road, when they're old and can't play anymore, you're going to be right back in the same boat.
Hey, I want to ask you this question. Do you now, hang on here. Do you consider the Broncos in the same category as the Bengals and Lions? Do you?
Actually, I put you in the same category as the Vikings.
Oh, thank you for that.
Because they don't win either, Nate.
Well, they got more primetime games than the Broncos. I just found that to be interesting. I mean, that's a category of no-name teams,
but
and the Broncos are
Nate,
there. First time ever.
What have the Broncos been the last few years? You guys put all your marbles in that last Super Bowl. You bought a Super Bowl.
We should have been able to be good by now. Okay?
No.
Should have been able to be good by
Where's
now.
all the money go? I mean, where's all the money? That's like Aaron Rodgers.
It's a salary cap league. We should be able to be good by now. By the way, first time they're not going to be on Monday Night Football in 29 years. 29 years. What a streak.
Well, you haven't won anything. You don't deserve to be on Monday night.
You better hope we get Aaron Rodgers. It'll be a lot of fun. It'll be a lot of fun.
Oh, see, you're going to be in the same boat, and he's going to be the same whiner. You know, or you could get Deshaun Watson once he settles 22 lawsuits for sexual abuse.
That's gone down the road. It's Aaron or nothing. Aaron or nothing.
We're going to see you on the street corner. Bob and I will drive by and you'll just be holding the sign. What happened?
I'm telling
I had
you,
it all.
I'll be telling you what happened every week. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. Thanks for getting in. I just wanted to point that out here. Not, this schedule, that schedule, this schedule. That one kind of hit me like a 2x4. The NFL is telling you who's interesting, who's going to be competitive, who can move the needle. That's what the NFL is trying to do. I'm in the media business here. You're trying to move the needle a little bit. The NFL wants to move the needle. The Broncos have been in Monday Night Football 29 years straight. No Monday Night Football. No, I mean, they've looked at it. Now, look at this. The Broncos were 28th in points scored last year. The NFL looks at it and say, hey, strong market, really good fan base, strong organization. I think they're just not interesting anymore. There's no fireworks. There's no firepower. The Denver Broncos have become the first championship team to miss the postseason 5 seasons after winning a title. Did you hear that one? They won Super Bowl 50. The Broncos are the first championship team ever to miss the postseason the 5 seasons after winning the title. 4 consecutive losing seasons. Vic Fangio coming back for year number 3, 12-20. I would like to ask the overall thought here. I'm a Broncos guy, and I find it hard to believe we've entered the category of the Lions, the Bengals, the Jets. Is that right? I mean, that's probably me. I look through orange-colored glasses, right? But the NFL is not looking through that. I look through the rosy glasses, the Broncos glasses. I have a little Kool-Aid on the side on my nightstand. Oh, I got a little, and I drink that Kool-Aid just a little too much, and I think the Broncos haven't entered the category with the Bengals, the Lions, the Jets, the Jaguars, right? And the NFL has told me today they are. The NFL has told me today they're in that category. Is that fair? I don't know. The scenario is the Broncos just have not been good, and I've been trying to tell you, yeah, I think they can squeak out some wins. I think they can get there. I've come to the realization, as good as the defense may be, if the quarterback scenario continues like this, no Aaron Rodgers, the Broncos are in that category, and the NFL just kind of let the cat out of the bag. They just let the cat out of the bag. It's a Monday Night Football streak that's happened since 1992. It's gone. You don't want to overplay all this. They can get flexed and moved around. I understand. The schedule can be flexed. There's flex games Sunday night, right? They can move things around. So it's not a big conspiracy. Oh, Aaron Rodgers isn't coming. That's why they did this. That's not a conspiracy. I heard Colin Cowherd talking about that. Oh, people talk to people. I don't buy that at all. They can flex some things around. They're telling us today on May 13th, the Broncos are with those other teams. The bottom part of the NFL. And I'm stunned to see it from their brand, their organization, their championship pedigree, their fan base. Stunned to see it because the fan base of the Broncos is much better than those other teams. We're in there with the Bengals and the Jaguars and the Lions. The Denver Broncos fan base should realize we should expect more from the Broncos organization. That's why you need to get this thing figured out in a hurry. 5 seasons after winning a title, no postseason berth, first team to do it in history. You've got to get it figured out. The Broncos are reeling. They're reeling, and the NFL just kind of wanted to give me that news flash today that, yeah, the Broncos are struggling like you think they are. And now they're relegated to a Thursday night. That's their primetime game. One of those old afterthoughts, Broncos-Browns. Except for now you're telling me the Browns are better. Never thought I'd see it. Coming right back, Stiegelmeier's on. John Stiegelmeier, South Dakota State head football coach, kicking off the show next.
You're your sports, your show. This is the Nate Brown Show on 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
At Terrell Tires in the Speed Center, we let our customers do the talking.
Very well-maintained tire and speed shop, over-the-top service, and very reasonably priced. Need I say more?
Scott and crew at Terrell Tires have always gone over and beyond for us. Great prices for great tires. Also, anytime we've needed odd-sized tires for ranch equipment, Scott gets us what we need.
Great customer service. Spent plenty of time answering all of our questions, and the truck looks awesome with the new rims.
Terrell Tires and the Speed Center, 105 North Campbell Street, Rapid City.
Rapid City Paintless Dent Repair is your local hail damage repair specialist with over 20 years of experience restoring cars to their pre-hail condition. Don't lose 30% of your resale value by having a body shop repaint it. Rapid City Paintless Dent Repair offers better resale value, has quick turnaround, and includes a lifetime guarantee on their work. The guys at Rapid City Paintless Dent Repair are trusted locals with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau, offering free estimates and are conveniently located downtown. Remember them when it hails.
For all of your screen printing, embroidery, team gear, banners, and much more, the one place that can do it all and get it done on time is Park Bench Apparel and A&J Screening in Blackhawk. Park Bench Apparel also has one-of-a-kind local men's, women's, and youth apparel with hats, tumblers, stickers, and more. If you need jerseys, shirts, business gear, or one-of-a-kind gifts, visit parkbenchapparel.com. Park Bench Apparel voted #1 in 2020 for screen printing, embroidery, and custom signs in the Black Hills. That's parkbenchapparel.com.
Would you rather walk across hot coals or have poison ivy? Everywhere. Some choices are a lose-lose, but it's all win-win at Taco John's. Choose 3 chicken street tacos or 3 chicken softshell tacos for just $5. Taco John's. Bigger, bolder, better.
For even more win-wins, download the Taco John's app for exclusive deals. So technically, that's a win-win-win.
Hi, this is Rihanna Wickett at Elevate Performance. We are ready to launch our summer sports performance camps, and now is the time to register the athlete in your family. If you want your athlete to run faster and jump higher, join us at Elevate this summer to get that edge. Our summer sports performance camps are open to boys and girls grades 6 through 12. Elevate Performance is ready to help our local athletes improve their strength, speed, agility, and more. Register today for the summer sports performance camp. Just visit elevateperformancesd.com.
Black Hills Community Bank wants you to know that now may be the best time to refinance, purchase, or even build a brand new home. With rates this low, Black Hills Community Bank is well positioned to be your local partner. They are your home loans bank with local originators, underwriting, processing, and closings. They challenge themselves to close every loan on time. This may be the time to think about home ownership or refinancing with Black Hills Community Bank in Rapid City and Spearfish. Online at bhcbank.com. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Where can you get surprisingly great rates on auto and renter's insurance? At State Farm. I'm State Farm agent Matt McCormick, and I'm your one-stop shop in Rapid City for protecting your car and your stuff for surprisingly great rates. So stop looking around. Call me, State Farm agent Matt McCormick, for surprisingly great auto and renter's rates today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
Broadcasting from the Anytime Auto Sales, Service, and Detail Studio. Sales, service, and side-by-sides. This is Fox Sports Rapid City.
Just getting started on a Thursday. Glad you're along. I appreciate it. South Dakota Sports Talk Show, the Nate Brown Show, live on Fox Sports Rapid City, weekdays 4 to 6. Packed lineup tonight. Pro Football Focus analyst Eric Eager coming up. The guys at PFF breaking down the easiest schedules in the NFL and the hardest schedules. We'll break that down. Good news for Broncos fans. Okay, we only get one primetime game. I just told you about that. The NFL's kind of telling us we're in a category with some teams that aren't very good. However, the Broncos have some good news from PFF, the guys at PFF. We'll get into that straight ahead. Well, we're doing this countdown every day on the show for the Sunday FCS National Championship. ABC, noon Mountain Time. South Dakota State trying to win that title. They take on Sam Houston. The head coach of the Jackrabbits, he's getting set to go to Frisco tomorrow. Before he goes and puts the final preparations in place, South Dakota State head football coach John Stiegelmeier joins us on Fox Sports Rapid City, as we've had him on each week throughout the season. Coach, it's good to have you one more time. How are you?
I'm doing super, Nate. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I say one more time, I hope to do it again after you're the national champions. That's what I hope. But we'll see how that goes on Sunday. Let me ask you about your semifinal victory. Jumped on Delaware, really dominant. They had the quarterback issue, but what did you think of your team's effort all the way around last weekend?
I thought it was really a complete. No, I know it was really a complete game. I thought it was one of our better special teams games, if not the best. Our defense, even though they had the ball for like 37 minutes, they only gave up 216 yards. So Delaware's mentality, I mean, they literally said, let's keep the ball away from South Dakota State. And then we had some huge plays on defense and offense. So our guys were confident, and we're excited to be playing one more week.
Well, you got the national championship, Coach. What's it felt like in practice? You're a guy that says, hey, we're just going to take it each week by week. This week has to be a little different. What's it feel like around getting prepared for this game?
Well, when you have a goal and you preach it for so long and it's at your fingertips, you have a chance for it. It feels rewarding. It feels like my dad taught me on the farm decades ago, work hard, be a good person, and good things are happening, and this is a good thing for SDSU football. I've been impressed, totally impressed by our football program and how business-like our guys have been, especially around me. So I think we will be close to playing our best football come Sunday.
You take on Sam Houston, Coach. I asked their head coach, Casey Keeler, about you. So I'll ask you about him. He's had a long history at this level. Has had some success there. What do you see from Casey Keeler over there at Sam Houston?
Well, he's a dynamic leader. He especially at Sam Houston, he decided in a league in the Southland where it's kind of a shootout type of league, he made a commitment, at least it looks like, 3-4 years ago to say, we're going to play great defense, and he has a great defense. So I respect him a ton. They kicked the heck out of us when he was the head coach at Delaware, and we played him in 2010. A dynamic guy and a guy that's built a really special program down there.
John Stiegelmeier, South Dakota State head football coach. The Jacks playing Sam Houston Sunday. I say this is on ABC. This is a big thing. I want to know what you see as far as for South Dakota State. I feel like it's a big thing for the university, Coach, being on this stage Sunday.
There's no doubt, and we had kind of a taste of that when we had ESPN Game Day here in 2019. Really sold our university and the people and academics, and I heard people getting job interviews because of Game Day, and this is going to be even bigger because this is not just an hour and a half or whatever. This is a 3 hour, and in a time where people are starving for football, we're the only show on, so it's going to be great for our football program and especially our university.
Okay, I want to give Jack fans, as we watch Sunday at noon, ABC, a preview of Sam Houston here. I noticed these guys are really fast, seem really athletic on the defensive front. Is their defensive front going to provide some problems?
They are. Yeah, they are. They're very, very talented. They're very deep like we are. The other part of that equation is it's going to be 20 degrees warmer than we've played in, and so they play in it. They play even warmer because they're south of Frisco. So we need to be ready. It's cool. Our administration turned up the heat in the S-Jack in our indoors, so we've been practicing in 82-degree weather indoors, but it's not the same. But you're right; they are very athletic.
I want to ask you offensively. How good's that quarterback over there, Eric Schmid? Second-team All-American, throws it around, can run a little bit too. How good is he?
He's very good. Yeah, he's very good. I've got some guys that I coached and a couple brothers that I coached at Northern that are high school coaches in Texas, and one of them coached against him, and he texted me right away when he found out we won and who were playing, and he said, he's the real deal, Coach. Get ready. So he's a good player.
He has a wide receiver out there, Jaquez Ezzard. This guy seems like a game breaker. Is that somebody you noticed out on the edge there?
You can't help but notice him. He'll return punts. When he catches us against James Madison, a 7-yard slant, he goes 60-some yards for a touchdown. Very, very athletic. A guy that we need to know where he's at and need to corral him because he's hard to tackle in the open field.
Jackrabbit defense has been really good. It's an interesting matchup against Sam Houston. Coach John Stiegelmeier, I'll let you get back to it with this. What would it mean, a victory Sunday, just for you and your career in this program?
Yeah, it'd mean a ton. Yeah, but it's not about me. It's about, more than anything, it's about our seniors, and specifically Preston Tetzlaff, who's playing his last play in that game, and then all the guys that went before that helped build this program. It'd be a special, special moment, Nate.
Does it feel like a little validation pushing through this season? Some people wanted to bag on this season, Coach.
Well, there's no doubt. I mean, the number of people that when things got tough, and that's, humans are built like that. The ones that aren't champions, cave and make excuses, and our guys stayed the course. Nate, we've had 18 weeks against this. Yesterday, we had 18 weeks where we haven't had a positive COVID test on our football team. So our guys were committed all along.
Congrats to you, Coach. Great run. It's Sunday. It's going to be a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed. I appreciate you coming on.
Thanks, Nate. Take care.
Appreciate it. John Stiegelmeier, South Dakota State head football coach on the Nate Brown Show, Fox Sports Rapid City. FCS Championship Sunday, ABC, 12 o'clock Mountain Time. I'm locked in, and I hope the Jacks get this done. Interesting Sam Houston matchup here. Sam Houston beat North Dakota State. They just beat James Madison. They were down 21 at the half. Sam Houston's athletic up front. That's what I've noticed. I haven't broken down all the film, okay, but as I look into this, athletic up front, really good game breaker at wide receiver on the edge. Ezzard is his name. You'll see him Sunday. Jaquez Ezzard, a really tough guy to guard. And then you got a good quarterback now. Maybe some people would say a great quarterback. Some people would say a great quarterback. Second team All-American. Passes it well. Not super elusive, but just enough. Eric Schmid at quarterback. Ezzard on the wide receiver position. And then the defensive front. The defensive line is big and athletic. And then their linebackers have been clean. The defensive line takes up a lot of stuff. They take up a lot of gaps, a lot of blocks. And the linebackers are clean for Sam Houston. That'll be Sunday, Frisco, Texas. The Jackrabbits trying to win that first national championship at the FCS level. Now, there's a little lesson to be had here. Some people, you always question, well, South Dakota State going Division I. That was a long time ago now, but it wasn't easy to get there. And I believe they have done so much more for the university as a whole getting there. Whether it's been women's basketball, men's basketball in the national tournament, now football in the FCS playoffs, in the semis, 3 out of the last 4 seasons. Those are big stages. You've got a 3.5-hour advertisement on ABC for South Dakota State University. I think we downplay that. We underplay. We think, it's over there in Brookings. There's Jackrabbit alums. Yeah, South Dakota State's good. This is a major platform. ABC Sunday at noon. Really, really major for the university. I think people don't quite get that picture. That's a big thing. I'm gonna touch on that because it plays into my question of the day today. Question of the day today is, let me just throw this out there because I have a perfect example of what's happened here. There's actually a university that had their men's basketball team make the NCAA tournament just this year. They just made the tournament. And now they're going to drop 2 levels in sports from Division I down to Division III. down to Division III because it's about finances. You just heard Coach Stiegelmeier talk about the COVID challenges, people not pushing through that. The Jackrabbits did, stayed disciplined, pushed through it. Tough times along the way, teams bailing. That's why I think they should be credited more. Some people want to say, it's probably a little easier. I think it's been a grinder. Didn't get to do the fall, had to hang on, got to do the spring. It's been a grinder for the Jacks. I think they should get credited more. Question of the day on the Nate Brown Show. Here it is. I just want you to answer this for me where you're at. Be honest where you're at. What do you think when a university decides to cut sports, maybe we're going to cut that sport, cut football, cut K, or drops from Division I down to Division III? What do you think? The worst call you can make if you're the university president? Is that the worst decision you can make? Or do you understand it? You just can't lose money with college sports. That's my question of the day for the audience. We'll discuss it. What do you think when a university cuts a sport or drops from D1 to D3? Because this is a scenario that's happened over the past year. Some pretty major universities have cut this sport and that sport because they can't, quote-unquote, afford it, right? And now there's some universities D1 to D3. Like just totally mailing it in. I mean, you're just saying, we're toast. And the reason is finances. What do you think? Worst call you can make? Okay? Or you understand it. You just can't lose money if you're the president of that university. Where are you at? We'll discuss it on the way. We'll break down the easiest schedules in the NFL. The easiest schedules in the NFL. The guys at PFF have the teams, and I've got the guy who will break it down, Eric Eager, PFF analyst, on the way.
You're listening to The Nate Brown Show. Remember to follow us on Twitter at Nate Brown Show and like us on Facebook by searching Fox Sports Rapid City.
We have all learned lately that our homes are our sanctuaries. And at Renewal by Andersen, many people invest in our windows to keep out the bitter cold. But they're often thrilled when it's blazing hot outside, and their Renewal by Andersen windows are keeping their homes so cool with much lower utility bills. Renewal by Andersen windows make life at home so much more comfortable, whether it's 10 degrees below zero or 100. We can't control outside, but we sure can inside. Invest in your home now with Renewal by Andersen. You'll be glad you did.
At Terrell Tires in the Speed Center, we let our customers do the talking.
Very well-maintained tire and speed shop, over-the-top service, and very reasonably priced. Need I say more?
Scott and crew at Terrell Tires have always gone over and beyond for us. Great prices for great tires. Also, anytime we've needed odd-sized tires for ranch equipment, Scott gets us what we need.
Great customer service. Spent plenty of time answering all of our questions, and the truck looks awesome with the new rims.
Terrell Tires in the Speed Center, 105 North Campbell Street, Rapid City.
Hey, it's Nate Brown. I got to tell you about Pour 54 in downtown Rapid City. If you haven't been there yet, make plans now. You will not be disappointed. I'm telling you, Pour 54 has 3 levels, plenty of space, 54 taps of craft beer, wine, hard seltzer, and hard cider. At Pour 54, you are your own bartender. No more waiting on drinks. You just grab a glass, make your choice, pour from the tap. Oh yeah, the food, out of this world. Get your night started with their pretzel board and then order up one of the awesome Pour 54 Detroit-style pan pizzas. They're unbelievable. If it's date night, after work happy hour, or just watching the big game, Pour 54 is the best place to go. And I know you'll absolutely love it like I do. There's simply no place like it in Rapid City or this region. Pour 54 opens at 3 p.m., located downtown Rapid City at 615 Main Street. You want to experience Pour 54.
Hello, everyone. This is Todd Singh with Singh Contracting. I'm here to remind you it's time to get that roof done. So what are you waiting for? Give us a call today. We'll give you our own estimate, separate from insurance, so you can make sure they're taking care of you. Call today, 343-ROOF. That's 343-7663. Or visit us at singhcontracting.com. Don't delay, call today. Bye!
Here's what customers are saying about Anytime Auto Sales service and detail. John Gordon, Rapid City.
I was just looking for a pickup to pull my camper, and a lot of us this day and age look to the internet. I did some research on their website. Everything that you would want to know about a vehicle before you arrive is available on that website that I find bar none one of the best. When it came to their service department, Anytime Auto Sales provides me with an exceptional automotive experience It was like a valet type of service. When I'd pull my pickup, pull my cars, the guys would get out, they'd greet me, they'd grab my vehicle, and I just found the experience to be exceptionally easy. I found their integrity and honesty to be above anybody else that I've experienced, and I'll come here every time.
For the best in automotive sales and service, see Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail, corner of Highway 79 in East Minnesota.
Anytime Auto Sales.
Hey, Rapid City, it's Doug Gottlieb. Join me weekdays from 1 to 4 right here on 106.7 FM and 11:50 a.m. Fox Sports Rapid City. And now let's get you back to the Nate Brown Show, Rapid City's sports talk show.
Welcome back in. Glad you're on board. How you doing? Solid today? Solid? It's always a great day in the Black Hills. Remember that. It's the motto of the show. The motto of the show. The Nate Brown Show is live. Fox Sports Rapid City. Catch us on YouTube. You can watch us there. Subscribe to The Nate Brown Show. Subscribe. It's free. It's easy. Every show's up there live and archived. You can watch the show on your phone. Also on Twitter at Nate Brown Show. Find us on Twitter. If you're on Twitter, at Nate Brown Show. Welcome into the studio. Live from downtown Rapid City, we go to Eric Eager, one of our favorite guests here. The guys at PFF, solid, always solid PFF analyst. Eric Eager back on the Nate Brown Show. He's on Twitter there at PFF_Eric. Give him a follow as well. Let's talk a little NFL schedules here and what the guys at PFF say from a who has an easy schedule, who has a hard schedule. Eric, good to get you on. How are you?
Doing well, Nate. How about you?
I'm doing good, man. I want to break some things down here, but first, I started my show with a Hard Truth Thursday. A Hard Truth Thursday. I'm a Broncos fan. I got Broncos gear up in the studio. People say I'm a Broncos homer, and then others call me a Broncos hater, so I don't know where I'm really at, Eric. But I say the NFL just sent me a message. I really believe this. The NFL gave the Broncos one primetime game. That matches the Bengals, the Jaguars, the Lions, the Jets, the Texans. Are the Broncos in that category? Tell me some truth.
I mean, I think they're a good team everywhere but the quarterback. But as you're finding out, consistently year to year that unless you have a good quarterback, even cost control one that is sufficiently good. It's hard to win in the NFL, and the league wants nothing less than to put a team on primetime games and have them trot out a quarterback like Drew Lock, right, or Teddy Bridgewater, or whatever they could be throwing out there. That being said, if you look to the future as far as trade opportunities, I mean they very much could be in the running for Aaron Rodgers, which would really help their situation.
Yeah, and I buy that. I don't buy that there's a conspiracy here that, the NFL knows Aaron's not moving, so we're going to bang on the Broncos. I don't buy that at all. There's flex games, Eric, right? I mean, they could flex them into Sunday. They could move things around after whatever it is, week 6 or whatever it is. So I don't buy that this is banking on Aaron not moving. Do you?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I do personally, and this might make you sad, but I sort of do see that. I do think that he ends up either staying in Green Bay, which I actually think is also an underdog, or retiring altogether, because he is a guy who I think has a lot of eclectic sort of interests. And it might not necessarily be, something that he wants to do anymore if he has to stay, sort of in Green Bay, a place where, he's been a very good soldier in a market that is, not the biggest market in the world, not the most appreciative of people who, sort of have, other interests, right? He comes off the heels of Brett Favre, who is all football all the time. And obviously, he's been a great player for Green Bay and a great person there. I could see him sort of wanting a change.
Yeah, I just don't see the NFL. I mean, they can't take the risk, Eric, of, hey, we're going to put 4 Broncos games in primetime. They're not going to do that. They're just going to have to see how the tea leaves read here.
I think you're absolutely right there. I think it's going to be hard for them to justify that, especially given, that the Chargers might be good. The Raiders are, I think, going to be an okay football team. They could be a 4th place team without Rodgers, and you don't want to risk that. They do have an easy schedule as well, which I think contributes to that. We have them with roughly the 3rd easiest schedule behind San Francisco and Jacksonville, and so there's also just this aspect of they're not playing enough great teams to be on primetime all the time either.
Interesting. I want to get into that now. Eric Eager on tonight, PFF analyst, the guys at PFF breaking down the NFL schedule. How did the 49ers end up with the easiest schedule in the league by your accounting?
Well, they finished, the thing is finishing in last place used to be not that big of a deal. It's still not that big of a deal. But instead of changing just 2 games now, it changes 3, right? Because your 17th game is a common division placer in an AFC division. So they get that. They also get the AFC South, which, you're talking about the Jaguars, Texans, Titans, I don't think are going to be very good, and Colts, who I think it all rests on Carson Wentz there. So you get 3 last-place games. You get an AFC South, which isn't very good. You do get your own division, which is a good division for sure. And then you also get an AFC North, which I think has 2 great teams, but 2 so-so teams or worse in the Bengals and Pittsburgh Steelers.
San Francisco, that one kind of jumped out to me, and I get it. They weren't very good last year, the injuries, and now Coach Shanahan and the 49ers in pretty good shape, according to you guys at PFF, with an easy schedule. And you just gave me that consolation prize, my Broncos' 3rd easiest schedule. And I've looked at it. I said, okay, there's a rough stretch in there about week 4 to 8. That's the rough stretch. But outside of that, they have some pretty good opponents here. Jets, Lions, some of these teams. Vic Fangio, 3rd year, Eric. He's 12-20. What type of win total does Vic Fangio have to get with this easy schedule?
I think you have to get it to at least 9. I think you have to get it because you were 7-9, and then you took a little bit of a step back. I think you need to get to 500 or better. But, yeah, I mean, you think about this. I was talking about this on the forecast last night. It's like if Rodgers does come, right, you have at Giants, which, by the way, is a 4 o'clock game, so you don't necessarily have to deal with the time change as badly. Then you have at Jacksonville, so you lose the edge of playing in Denver in early September where it's hot and teams have a really hard time winning. But then you have Jets. Then the Ravens are a tough one, but you get them at home. Pittsburgh's down, and then you have the Raiders. Your first 6 games, you have a realistic shot of going 4-2, 5-1, right? Then you play a tough Browns team, and then it's winnable games against the NFC East: Washington, Dallas, Philadelphia. That's not a terrible stretch. And then when you finish off, sure, you get the Chiefs in week 17 or week 18, but you have the Bengals and Lions back to back, the Raiders again. And by January 2nd, we all know the Chargers are going to be going nowhere. So that's a pretty good, I think, slate there. And one of those where, later on in the season, let's say, December 5th, when they go to Arrowhead to play the Chiefs, that might be a game that ends up being flexed.
Eric Eager, PFF analyst, talking NFL schedule, and the Broncos have a 3rd easiest schedule. Are you buying in on this NFC North picture? Green Bay, Minnesota having tough schedules. You think the Vikings and Packers have some tough roads here?
I think it's middle of the pack for both. The Vikings could very well start poorly. There's an off chance that they start 0-4 if they go to Cincinnati. They're only 3.5-point favorites against Cincinnati. The Bengals, I think, have a great deal of talent there. You go to Arizona, and then you come home for 2 really tough games in Seattle and Cleveland. That's a tough stretch. You have a couple of nice games at the Lions and Panthers after that, but then it's a row of teams that could be pretty good: Dallas, Baltimore, Los Angeles Chargers. I joke about, but they have some of the characteristics of being decent. Then you go Green Bay, San Francisco. it's a tough stretch there. And then the kicker, you finish with 4 games: Bears, Rams, Packers, Bears. Bears could be a team with Justin Fields by that time. It's when you catch them in 2 of the last 4 games. Justin Fields could either be in like a Justin Herbert situation like this past year where the Bears aren't very good, but he's, playing really well and they win their last 4 games or something like that. Or, he could have been good the whole season, right? But I don't, if I'm the Vikings, I don't like playing the Bears late in the season because that's a situation where they very well could be, in a position to be improving. And then you go to Lambeau Field on January 2nd. Never an easy place to play that time of year.
Who's going to have the toughest road here? We looked at some of the easiest. Last one for Eric Eager. Tough road out there. Which teams do you think might struggle?
Yeah, this is one that's hard, but it's Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is a first-place team in the division last year, 12-4. But they come into this year, everybody in Vegas likes them. It's the 3rd best team in that division. They have a really tough schedule. Kansas City on the schedule, Tennessee on the schedule. All the first-place teams they have to end up facing. We have them with the hardest schedule, about a point per game, more difficult than the average team.
The Steelers. Raiders up there? Raiders?
The Raiders have the 6th most difficult schedule. Yeah, they have a tough one.
Eric Eager on tonight at PFF_Eric, a great follow, PFF analyst breaking down the NFL schedule. Broncos have an easy one, but it might not be as easy as you think. Eric, always good, man. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for having me on, Nate. Have a good one.
Appreciate it. Eric Eager on tonight, PFF analyst talking NFL schedule on Twitter at PFF_Eric here on the Nate Brown Show. Good stuff. Good stuff. The Steelers have the hardest schedule, okay? They say Vikings middle of the pack. Vikings, Packers middle of the pack. Depending on how you look at it, some of the odds makers have the Vikings as having a top 5 hardest schedule. Some of the odds makers have the Vikings and the Packers in the top 5 as hardest schedule. The Raiders are up there. PFF has them at 6, but I've seen the Raiders up there in the top 5 as well. So, moral of the story here on the Nate Brown Show for you Vikings fans, you Bronco fans, it's so interesting because people say, look at the Broncos win total. The Las Vegas win total for the Broncos is 7.5. The Vikings is 8. The Vikings is 8. And so people would say, that doesn't correlate there. Vikings are better than the Broncos, no? Okay, so why is the number so close? Broncos 7.5 total wins. That's the over-under. Vikings at 8. And you're going, hang on. Vikings have a harder schedule. Vikings have a much harder schedule. The Broncos have a top 3 easiest schedule. 49ers in there. The Colts in there with an easy schedule, and the Eagles as well, and the Jaguars. That's my silver lining on a Thursday. See, I told you, Broncos in that category of Bengals, Jaguars, Lions, Jets, only one primetime game. And that's really what it is in the NFL today. What is the NFL? It's a quarterback-driven league, quarterback brand, and the Broncos don't have a quarterback brand. They just don't. And the offense has shown that that's the case. 20 points a game. That's not going to get people excited watching a primetime game. We want offense, we want intrigue, we want interest, and the Broncos don't have it. So even though I don't put the Broncos in that category, the Bengals, the Lions, the Jets, I don't put them in that category, the NFL is telling me from an offensive side, they're anemic. From an offensive side, they are. Listener text coming in. Okay, listener text. Okay, I'm not a Bronco fan, but the Broncos will never be in the same category as the Browns or the Lions. Wow, thank you. Some of the Browns fans may argue, say, hey, the Browns are the real deal right now. I'm not so sure, by the way. I'm not so sure. Broncos play the Browns. How about that for a little coincidence? That's the only primetime game the Broncos get. Thursday, October 21st. Browns-Broncos, I guess we'll decide which category they really are in. But thanks for that. Lift me up. Little pick me up. The Broncos aren't in the same category as the Browns or the Lions. And he said, never will be. Well, from a fan standpoint, from a championship standpoint, that's the case. But from an offensive standpoint and quarterback standpoint, the NFL said the Broncos are out. No Monday Night Football for the first time in 29 years. We're back with Lee Sterling. Let's break down now who's really going to win games. Who's really going to win? He's the handicapper, Paramount Sports. I want to break down some NFL futures. What are the best teams to bet on to make a run this year? And is Las Vegas really going to make the Buccaneers a favorite to win every game? Go 17-0? Come on. Come on. Lee Sterling live next.
From high school to college to the pros, this is the Nate Brown Show on 106.7 FM and 1150 AM Fox Sports.
At Terrell Tires and the Speed Center, we let our customers do the talking.
Very well maintained tire and speed shop, over the top service, and very reasonably priced. Need I say more?
Scott and crew at Terrell Tires have always gone over and beyond for us. Great prices for great tires. Also, anytime we've needed odd-sized tires for ranch equipment, Scott gets us what we need.
Great customer service. Spent plenty of time answering all of our questions, and the truck looks awesome with the new rims.
Terrell Tires and the Speed Center, 105 North Campbell Street, Rapid City.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Chance for scattered thunderstorms tonight, otherwise partly cloudy skies. Lows dip down to about 43, winds out of the west 5 to 10 miles per hour. Cloudy skies tomorrow, chance for scattered thunderstorms, highs level off around 68. Cloudy skies expected tomorrow night, chance for scattered thunderstorms, lows around 47. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently, it's 64.
Get away from it all in the great outdoors for lasting family memories with a new or pre-owned RV from Dakota Discount RV. We make your RV experience fun and easy by providing you with a quality recreational vehicle, competitive pricing, and professional sales and service. Our large inventory of fifth-wheelers, travel trailers, toy haulers, and live-in horse trailers allows us to save our customers thousands of dollars compared to most dealers. Stop by and see us at Dakota Discount RV, 3330 East Mall Drive across from Cabela's and on JB Road, Blackhawk.
The doctors and staff at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center have provided expert bone, joint, and muscle care to patients in the Black Hills area since 1976. Whether you're an elite athlete, a weekend warrior, or just want to continue your active lifestyle, the orthopedic experts at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center will help you stay in the game. Don't let an injury keep you from doing the things you love. Trust the team at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center, specializing in what moves you. Learn more at bhosc.com.
Insurance. We all need it to protect our homes, health, businesses, and belongings. But having adequate coverage is just the beginning. You also need the support of professionals who stand by your side to protect what's important to you. Fisher Rounds & Associates combines the coverage you want with the commitment you need. Fisher Rounds & Associates. At your service, at your side. With offices in Pierre, Mitchell, Watertown, Sioux Falls, and Rapid City.
At Terrell Tires and the Speed Center, we let our customers do the talking.
Very well maintained tire and speed shop, over the top service, and very reasonably priced. Need I say more?
Scott and crew at Terrell Tires have always gone over and beyond for us. Great prices for great tires. Also, anytime we've needed odd-sized tires for ranch equipment, Scott gets us what we need.
Great customer service. Spent plenty of time answering all of our questions, and the truck looks awesome with the new rims.
Terrell Tires and the Speed Center, 105 North Campbell Street, Rapid City.
Hi, this is David Brenneman with Coldwell Banker in Rapid City. If you considered selling your current home, let me take you to that next step with confidence. The Black Hills housing market is competitive, and I have been in the business of attracting buyers for 15 years. Let's make it happen. Contact me, David Brenneman, at 415-0044. List it, sell it, and move on. With me, David Brenneman, at 415-0044.
Hi, it's Colin Coward. Great to be in the Black Hills. Get in the herd weekdays 10 to 1 on 106.7 FM and 1150 AM Fox Sports.
Welcome back in on a busy Thursday. The Nate Brown Show live, Fox Sports Rapid City. 106.7 FM, 1150 AM. Thanks for checking in on the radio. Also, on your phone there on Twitter at Nate Brown Show. You can watch the show there at Nate Brown Show. We've got the live in-studio camera. Also, YouTube channel, The Nate Brown Show. Subscribe. You've got us there. The Nate Brown Show. Coming up, Zach Barnett, college football writer, Football Scoop. He's on the way. Pac-12 hiring a new commissioner. What's that mean? Well, he kind of jumped out and said one of his number one focuses is going to be this, and I think he's on target. We'll get into it. Pac-12 side with Zach Barnett, Football Scoop on the way. All the NFL schedules out, okay? So it's out. We kind of talked about easiest schedules, hardest schedules there with the PFF guys. Now we got to go to the guy who breaks down the numbers, the handicapper. He's got the win totals. Okay, I want to know where he's at. Lee Sterling, we've had him on before. Not in a long time, though, but I'll tell you, let's talk some NFL futures here. ParamountSports.com, that's the place. It's Lee Sterling back on the Nate Brown Show. Lee, how are you?
I'm good, and here's the first thing you got to remember. So the public is going to always bet more overs than unders on NFL season win totals. It's a 17-game regular season. If you add up all the wins, it comes out to 272 wins. They priced the totals, if you add up all the win totals, at 277.5. So they built in a little edge there, and they add the juice and a little whole lot of honey, a little bit of sugar, and the house is going to win in the end every single time.
So you got to be careful. Easy. Pump the brakes. I want to start.
And they're holding, and on top of that, they're holding your money for almost 6 months too.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we know how that goes. I want to start with this: the NFC North. I want to start with the NFC North. How can you bet futures win totals in the NFC North when we don't know what Aaron Rodgers is doing? This seems dicey to me, Lee.
So I would never bet Green Bay over. I would never bet any other team except for over. I mean, is he probably going to stay? Yeah, at the end it'll probably work out. But if he ends up getting traded, let's say to a New Orleans or another team, well, then all of a sudden the floodgates open up. So, unless you're betting overs, now is the time to jump on if you like an over on one of the other three teams. And one of the teams I actually like a little bit is Chicago. When they signed Andy Dalton, I'm like under. But if he starts more than 2 or 3 games, I'd be shocked. I think he's done. So I love Justin Fields going into the draft. I'm still shocked that he fell that low. I think people fell in love with Wilson from BYU when he had played no one. I mean, you want to see what Justin Fields did? Just pop in the tape against Clemson. Destroyed them.
Right.
So 7.5. I'm buying a little on the Chicago Bears over 7.5. I think they win at least 8-9 games.
Okay. How about this? Vikings fans here, Lee.
Yeah.
I see this number 8 or 8.5. Vikings at 8.5, if that's the number. What do you feel?
Maybe slightly to the over. I think they underachieved. They got off that slow start last year, and when they got off that slow start, they pretty much doomed their season. So, things could, as far as health-wise, as far as injuries, could go their way. Lost a lot of close games. So, not one of my top 7 or 8 plays, but if you have to play a side, probably Minnesota over.
Okay, Lee Sterling, ParamountSports.com. Quick one, and then we'll jump into some of your top plays. Quick one here. The Buccaneers are going to be favored in every game. That's the headline. They're going to be favored in every game. They're not going 17-0. Lee, what's the story?
I still like them over. Remember, they're playing in a division that really has no clear-cut team that can even challenge them in the Saints, Carolina, and Atlanta. So, it's 10.5, 11. If it's 11.5, I probably wouldn't play, but I think they're going to win easy 12, 13 games.
You do, and you like that play.
The schedule. I mean, when was the last time you saw a team that won the Super Bowl returning all 22 starters? I don't know if it's ever happened.
No, that's right. They do have a lot back. Okay, America's team, quote unquote. Careful, quote unquote. Dallas Cowboys 9.5.
That's tough. I mean, that's the toughest division. Almost any team could probably win that division except for Philadelphia, in my opinion. So that's just, it's I have no real strong opinion either way. They at least addressed their defense in the draft and went with a defensive player, wasn't the first 6 picks. So that's about the first thing that I like that Jerry Jones did in the last maybe 3 or 4 decades.
You saying I have no opinion it sums up the NFC East. That
Right.
sums it up right there. If who's gonna,
someone could catch. I mean, there could be a team that could start off 4-0, 5-0, and they could end up, 6-11. So I think that whoever stays healthy, I think it's too tough to call. But there are some that I really like.
Okay, let's get into them.
Okay.
You kind of like the Buccaneers.
I like the Bucks.
Okay.
I like the under in New Orleans. Who set this at 9.5? I mean, I know they're 8-1 the last 2 years in prime time, but I'm not a Jameis Winston believer. I just don't think this team is that good. I think they're a 6-7 win team. So that's one of my strongest ones. Seattle, under 10. They were 8-3 in one-score games. I just think they're really weak in the trenches. I think Russell Wilson, all that chatter about him leaving, I think he realizes they got a great middle linebacker. They have a couple really good receivers. But other than that, there's not an offensive defensive lineman I really want on that team. So I think they're going under, and all 3 other teams in that division, I think, made themselves much stronger in the offseason. I like the under for the Patriots, under 9. Cam Newton looks like, their bye is so late in the year that they're going to probably start off with Cam Newton. I don't think he's the right fit for that offense. Yeah, they'll get some guys back who didn't play last year because of COVID, had some injuries, but under 9, this is a 6, 7, maybe 8 win team at best. And one more, maybe my strongest, Indianapolis, under 9.5.
Oh.
People will say Carson Wentz in a better situation is going to perform much better, and the offensive line is head and shoulders above what he had. But you study the tape, and being a former quarterback, I think I know quarterbacks pretty well. He stands in there, and even when he wasn't being rushed, he was so inaccurate. I don't know what happened to him. It's almost like that fighter. You watch a UFC fighter when they get to 37, 38, 39, all of a sudden their reflexes go, their chin goes, their shot. I just think he lost it. I just don't think he's accurate enough anymore.
I noticed a trend there, Lee Sterling. You said the public likes going over. It looks like you're liking the under for a lot of those teams. Liking the under.
Yeah, like I said, I like Chicago. If I had to favor one side, I'd favor the over a little bit in Minnesota, just because things can't go as wrong as they did early in the year last year. And who knows, if Rodgers leaves that division, I think it's going to be Chicago or Minnesota. And then one other I like the Dolphins, over 8.5. I think this is a team that really helped themselves in the draft. And outside of Buffalo, I don't think the Jets and New England are ready to challenge.
And the Aaron Rodgers situation is out there. I mean, it's out there.
Yeah.
Like my Denver Broncos are 7.5. I don't think they're going to get there without Aaron Rodgers. No. But they pull off an Aaron Rodgers, then that's out the window.
Right, and who knows? Teddy Bridgewater is one of those guys that it doesn't look pretty, but the kids. I saw him play in high school, and okay, he had a talented team, but he went against some other talented teams. There was a couple times I saw him literally 80, 90 yards away from the end zone, and there was a minute, 2 minutes, 40, 50 seconds to go in the game. He's just a winner. Doesn't throw the prettiest passes. I think they brought him there for a reason. So unless Locke gets off to a really good start, who knows? Teddy might even be him. Ted Bridgewater could have started as a safety in the NFL. There's not many people who will say that. And also, I don't know if I've ever told you this. So I go to a lot of high school games Friday night after I've finished doing 30, 35 shows. I just want to be out in the fresh air and watch some good football. Dalvin Cook was a better cornerback than he was a running back.
Wow.
And he could have played 15 years. If he was my kid, and I know everyone wants the glory, I would have said, Dalvin, you're playing cornerback, not running back.
Lee Sterling bringing some knowledge on Teddy. I think it could be Teddy's team. It could be Teddy's team for Denver. We shall see. Lee Sterling, ParamountSports.com. Do you have a quick one here? UFC 262? What are we looking at?
Yeah, so I will say this is one of the toughest cards. In fact, of the 12 fights that opened up, every fight opened up minus 200 or less. So there's no back up the truck suggestion out there. But I'm going to give you the main card and the main fight of the night. I'm going to give you Charles Oliveira. So he's fighting Michael Iron Chandler. Chandler could knock him out, but he really cannot win any other way. So I think Oliveira's striking is improved. He just needs to survive the first round. He might get hit 2-3 times hard, but I think he's good enough. I think his ground game is really good. I think that he's smarter. This is not the same fighter that lost to Paul Felder in 2017, but that was 3.5 years ago. So anything can happen, but I'll take Charles do Bronx Oliveira over Michael Iron Chandler in the main event here of UFC 262.
And by the way, NHL playoffs coming, and you've been on fire.
Probably the number one handicapper in the country. You can look up my record at covers.com. So this year on Covers, from the start of the season through the right now, I think there's 2 days left. Playoffs start on Saturday. We're 114-83-3. If you put 10 units on $10 on every one of my unit, I rate my suggestions from 10 to 50 units, you would have won $23,675.
Wow.
So
wow.
A documented 57.9%. There's a lot of people. I think there's like 23 handicappers that do hockey there. We more than doubled up the number 2 handicapper, and they choose guys. There's some guys there that have a couple guys that went to Ivy Leagues. There's some bright minds, and I think we're at something like a minus 112 favorite. So there's some people. Don't be deceived. A lot of people out there will tell you, "Oh, I'm hitting 65, 70%." Yeah, but if you're playing a minus 150, 160 favorite on average,
right,
you're actually losing money. So we actually played an average of minus 112 favorite. So play a lot of underdogs, play some totals, just looking for the right edge. So you want to get involved with hockey, we've got a special 197 through the NHL Finals. That's 2 months of action. NBA playoffs start on Tuesday, the play-in tournament. We're on a run there. We're over 56% on the last 100 selections. Anyone telling you they're hitting 65, 70% in the NBA can't be done. You can get either NBA or NHL 197. If you want to combine two, take another $100 off, just $297 for both. We'll give you over 2 months of action. You got to call, though, the office to get that special and speak to me, 800-400-9741.
ParamountSports.com as well. I knew you've been good on hockey. Lee Sterling, we'll get some more NFL future stuff as we get going as well. Playoffs, though, hockey, basketball coming up. Lee, always good, man. Thanks a lot.
You too. Take care, Nate.
Appreciate it. Lee Sterling on the Nate Brown Show. Find him there, ParamountSports.com. One of the top handicappers in the country. NFL win totals. So you hear some of the teams that he liked. He's kind of likes the Vikings over 8.5, kind of. So he's kind of telling you 9-8. He thinks. He likes the Buccaneers over 10.5. So he's saying 11 wins for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're going to get there. He likes the under win total for the Saints, sitting there at 8.5, 9. The Saints going to be under that, he says. Also likes the under for the Colts. Now, the Colts have an easy schedule. Carson Wentz, revival. Carson Wentz to the Colts, easy schedule, good offensive line. Can he get it done? The Colts sitting there at 9, and he likes the under on that. Although, you Vikings fans, careful. Lee Sterling also likes the Bears there. Likes the Bears. I feel like if Aaron Rodgers does exit the Packers somehow, some way, that's the Vikings division. That is the Vikings division. Has to be. Has to be. Here on the Drive at 5 on the Nate Brown Show on this Thursday, let's jump into this story with our question of the day. What do you think it says when a university makes the call to go from Division I to Division III? A smart move? Oh, we got to look at the numbers. Or the worst decision ever. Now, two ends of the spectrum. We'll discuss it and tell you this university had a team in March Madness, and they're mailing it in now. That's next.
You're listening to the only live and local sports talk show in the Black Hills, The Nate Brown Show, on FoxSportsRapidCity.com and live on 106.7 FM and 1150 AM Fox Sports Rapid City.
The best new cars make the best used cars. This month, get 2.99% for 60 months on select models. Driving a certified Toyota gets you a 12-month, 12,000-mile limited comprehensive warranty, a 7-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty, plus 7 years of roadside assistance. See Denny Menholtz Toyota for all the details. At Denny Menholtz Auto Group, we buy cars. Did you know that vehicles are in high demand? Due to limited inventory, your vehicle has never been worth more. Stop by any of our Rapid City Denny Menholtz dealerships and either sell or trade today. Located off I-90 on East Mall Drive. Drive in today.
Hey, parents of local athletes, we all know you gotta put in the work to get better, and Physio is ready to help your athlete improve their strength, conditioning, and athletic ability. Physio's summer strength and conditioning program starts June 7th, and this year they're kicking it off with the first ever Black Hills Athlete Performance Combine, testing to find out where you're at and where you can improve. Open to area athletes grades 6 through 12. Register for the Combine and Physio's strength and conditioning summer program right now at bhphysio.com.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City. This is the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM. Fox Sports Rapid City.
Hey, renters in the Black Hills. I'm State Farm Agent Scott Carlson, and I'm ready to surprise you in a good way with surprisingly great rates on auto and renter's insurance. That's right. Me and my team can help you protect your car and your stuff for less than you might think. Get a quote and see how much you can save. You might be surprised. Call me, State Farm Agent Scott Carlson, for your surprisingly great auto and renter's rate today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Doctor, are you going to start the ventricular bypass?
Wow, I've never seen the inside of a person's chest cavity before.
Doctor?
Well, my specialty is proctology, not hearts, but I'm game if you are.
Would you want a proctologist operating on your heart? Renewal by Anderson of South Dakota thinks not. You'd want a specialist or an expert.
Scalpel.
Scalpel.
Does someone have a diagram? We have nothing that looks like this on the other end.
That's why when you need replacement windows, you need Renewal by Anderson, because they only do windows. They're experts, no subcontractors.
Nurse, if we're operating on the left ventricle, is that my left or his left?
His left.
His left, my right?
No, you're right.
Let's start from the bottom up, please.
Renewal by Anderson's hassle-free, energy-efficient, low-maintenance windows with a professional, perfect fit. They won't leave you hanging.
Doctor, where are you going?
In proctology speak, I'm pooped. Just leave him as he is, and I'll try again tomorrow.
For a perfect fit, call 605-341-7831. That's 605-341-7831. Renewal by Anderson of South Dakota.
Hi, this is Dan Patrick. Remember to catch me weekday mornings from 7 until 10 a.m. right here on 106.7 FM and 1150 a.m. Fox Sports Rapid City. And now, back to Rapid City's sports talk show, The Nate Brown Show.
Welcome back in South Dakota Sports Talk Show, the Nate Brown Show in the Drive at 5 on a Thursday. Thanks for being here. Hope you're having a solid day. We'll keep it rolling this hour. Zach Barnett's coming up, national college football writer for Football Scoop. He's live from Texas. Big story in college football is the Pac-12 hiring a new commissioner. Pac-12 hiring a new commissioner. No college sports experience. Okay? They hired him from Las Vegas. He was the head of sports and entertainment for MGM. Okay, so this is going to be interesting. He knows the sports business side, doesn't know college sports, but kind of meshing the two. The Pac-12 hiring a new commissioner. What does it all mean? He made a statement today. One of his number one focuses is going to be on football. That's the right call. We'll get into it with Zach Barnett coming up. Football Scoop on the Pac-12 and where they go. Is that conference kind of the background of everyone else when it comes to the Power 5. Brian Henshin's coming up this hour. He's the Sioux Falls Argus Leader high school sports writer. He wrote a big piece on sanctioning high school baseball. Are we close? Are we way off? Brian Henshin live from Sioux Falls coming up. Okay, question of the day. How about you answer this one really quick? Answer this one really quick for me. Let's bring it up. Let's get the results and the question of the day, because the story just bothers me. I mean, it just bothers me. And so I wanted to throw out the question to the audience and see where you're at. I'm a little surprised by the audience's reaction. because most of the people that follow the show on Twitter, at Nate Brown Show, most of the people that follow the show are sports fans. Imagine that, okay? So I'm a little surprised by the answers that I'm getting on the question of the day. It's dealing with this. What do you think when a university decides to cut sports or makes the decision to drop from D1 like to D3 because of finances? We just can't handle the finances anymore. What do you think? I give you two options. Worst call you can make running university, worst call you can make when you're cutting sports or dropping down off the radar, or you understand it, you just can't lose money. Here's the audience answers. It's tight. It's really, really tight. And I want to know where you're coming at. 51% of the folks today saying they understand it. The university presidents just can't lose money on sports. They understand it. 51%. 49% saying it's the worst decision you can make. I'm more with you. Here's the example. Hartford, okay, little small school, Hartford, over there in Connecticut, okay? They made the NCAA tournament for the first time. For the first time ever. They made the NCAA tournament, okay? They've decided to go from D1 to D3. They sent an email to the coaches and athletes. They sent an email. Hey, congrats on making the NCAA tournament for the first time. You got to play Baylor on national TV, and nobody knew about Hartford ever in their lives, but Hartford was branded there for about 2 hours against Baylor. But congrats on that, but we're going to go from D1 to D3 and just fall off the map. Entirely. I don't buy it. I'm going to tell you, a lot of these universities look at this. They look at, well, we have to spend this. We don't get an investment. We don't get a return on our investment. They do. They can't see it at the bottom line, but they do. The fact of the matter is, the donors and the alumni of universities, many of them support the university because of their sports and their experience with camaraderie sports games. I don't make that up. I lived that. Many of the top donors to universities, it may surprise you, are donors to sports. Even at the D2 level. You're not going to, it's all the number crunchers. They say, well, this sport costs this much, and so we're not getting a return on that. They're not seeing the big picture. Hartford went to the NCAA tournament on national TV. They're going to go to D3 because it's not part of the mission of their university? You could close the doors tomorrow. See ya. Thanks for calling. You're live, and you go ahead.
Nate, you got to look at it two different ways, though. Most of them teams, like Hartford, really, you went D1. There's 120 some teams that make the NCAA, right? Am I wrong?
No, that's fine, but not very many Hartfords.
I like them odds, Nate. I could take Stevens, I think, and at least make the playoffs. You see what I'm saying?
No, Hartford's been D1 since the 80s.
Hartford didn't deserve to be in Division I. And these schools that go D1 for that big money, oh, come on, Nate. You're one of 120-some teams to make a tournament. My God, let's hand out participation ribbons.
That's the first time they've ever made it. My point is they made it, and now they're going to go D3 after they've been D1 since the 80s? And now you're going to go D3?
So they spent 50 years, 40 years not making it, and they made it once out of 40 years. And here's another one.
Yeah, so why are they doing it now? Why are they doing it now? That's the worst decision.
I buy the activities ticket at South Dakota School of Mines. Eric Glynn's one of my favorite guys for a coach here locally. They don't belong in D2, Nate.
Huh?
They went for the money. Then they're realizing they can't get it. Now let's look at Stanford.
By the way,
Stanford.
the D2s helped that university. That's helped that university.
Yeah. However, Nate, how many REMACs have we won? When have we played a championship game? We've made one tournament.
Well, it's not all
So I
about
don't know what
sports.
the
It's
help
about
is.
the university. I said the big picture. That's what people are missing in this, Steve. They're missing what sports does at a high level for the university. Nobody knows about
Man, you go to
Hartford.
games.
You wouldn't know
You
about
go to
Hartford.
games.
You wouldn't know about Hartford unless they made the tournament. Nobody knows about Hartford, and
I
now
don't
they're
care
gone.
about Hartford.
They're gone.
They play one sport.
No, they play 17.
They
but
play one
anyway.
sport, so they're going to go from D1. They belong in D3, actually, probably NAIA.
No, that's
but
a bad
let's
call.
look at Stanford University. They dropped the wrestling program this year. They had a national champion. If you go back in time and look at the number of All-American wrestlers, and then look at their degrees from Stanford, actually look at all degrees from Division I down to 3, down to NAIA of wrestlers that go on to be doctors, that go on to be something special. They raised $50 million.
Yes, I saw this.
You know where that $50 million came from, Nate?
Those alumni.
Former-
Yes.
No. Former wrestlers
Well, that's what I mean.
from
Those
across
alumni.
the country.
Oh, not even Stanford. Well, I'm going to say Stanford also
please.
kicked in.
Oh, Stanford had some, but Nate, no. I know. I love this sport. Them donations came from Iowa, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Michigan. You know who got the biggest round of applause when he won his NCAA this year? Was the Stanford wrestler that refused to wear a Stanford logo on his uniform.
See, now
They let
you're-
him wrestle in black.
Now you're making my point. Stanford didn't need to get rid of wrestling. They didn't need to get rid of wrestling.
No. But Nate, they
Hartford
got,
doesn't
yeah,
need to go to
agree, and I
D3.
still can't believe because them donors are asking for their money back
No, that's
because it was for wrestling only.
Stanford
But
didn't
let's
see
look.
the big picture either. They didn't see the big picture either because they got all the money in the world. Well, we don't need wrestling. We don't need this. We don't need that. We're just losing money off that. That's my problem, Steve. They don't see the big picture. They see it as a line item. They see it as a line item.
I see the big picture, Nate. I'm just saying a lot of these schools, come on. That's like this weekend. If Trey Lance played for North Dakota State and this was in the fall, do you really think we would be playing for a championship?
You never know. We might be playing them.
Yeah.
Uh,
I understand where you're going because you got a lot of Jackrabbit fans listening to you. But let's look at reality. No.
We might be
And
playing
who-
them.
My old man watches TV. He watches ESPN, Fox every day, Nate. He catches he watches lacrosse. He watches swimming, gymnastics. And he just heard about this South Dakota State being in the championship game.
Well,
he
you're gonna-
called me last night.
ABC, buddy.
just
Noon.
saying.
ABC. That's that'll
Oh, and
be.
I'll watch it just for the heck of it, but let's not go overboard with this. It's spring football. Half the teams didn't play in the spring, and
not
there was
quite
no
half.
Trey Lance.
More than half. Appreciate it, buddy.
Okay.
Thanks for getting in.
Yep, take care.
Appreciate it. No. It's universities. Universities. They look at line items. The president at Hartford looked at a line item. Hey, man, we're kind of losing money on this sport and that sport, and well, we went to the tournament. We went to the NCAA tournament, and that's what sports does for our university, our little University of Hartford. Yet we want to go D3, and you're just going to be nothing. I've seen this. You turn schools like that into commuter colleges. That turns that type of scenario. No sports, no student body camaraderie. That's the thing. You get to the tournament, here we go, and now they're going to have the best team they would have ever had in men's basketball. Might have the best team they've ever had. And now they're going D3. And the email was sent from the school to coaches and athletes. The email was sent. Isn't that nice? Hey, here's some information on our transition to Division 3. Thanks for playing. Listener text coming in. Listener text. Let's see. they might as well close the doors. The next thing is they close the doors. That could be. I don't know. Probably not. But, well, these sports don't fit into the mission of Hartford. What is the mission of Hartford? Saving as much money as we can, still having big salaries in certain areas, and sports, it's a line item, it loses, and we don't see the big benefits for the university and the alumni that donate to the university. I don't get it. I'll never get it. Coming right back with Zach Barnett, Pac-12 commissioner, is in. What's the problem with the Pac-12? He's next.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
We have all learned lately that our homes are our sanctuaries. And at Renewal by Andersen, many people invest in our windows to keep out the bitter cold. But they're often thrilled when it's blazing hot outside, and their Renewal by Andersen windows are keeping their homes so cool with much lower utility bills. Renewal by Andersen windows make life at home so much more comfortable, whether it's 10 degrees below zero or 100. We can't control outside, but we sure can inside. Invest in your home now with Renewal by Andersen. You'll be glad you did.
At Terrell Tires in the Speed Center, we let our customers do the talking.
Very well-maintained tire and speed shop, over-the-top service, and very reasonably priced. Need I say more?
Scott and crew at Terrell Tires have always gone over and beyond for us. Great prices for great tires. Also, anytime we've needed odd-sized tires for ranch equipment, Scott gets us what we need.
Great customer service. Spent plenty of time answering all of our questions, and the truck looks awesome with the new rims.
Terrell Tires in the Speed Center, 105 North Campbell Street, Rapid City.
To put a personal touch on each one and really listen to our customers and make sure that we take care of them the very best that we can.
We are going to apply the best of our knowledge and ability and care to really analyze our situation and find all the best solutions that we possibly can.
We customize what we do to what you need. Pioneer Bank and Trust is local.
If you're grilling this weekend, be sure to have plenty of Village Hearth buns on hand. Fancy equipment and secret sauces are great, but once you've mastered the basics, it's all about the bun. Your perfectly grilled hamburgers and hot dogs deserve the best, and with several varieties to choose from, including unsliced old-fashioned, classic white, wheat, Pennsylvania Dutch potato, and flavorful gourmet onion, the bakers at Village Hearth have the buns your family will love. Village Hearth Buns, baking our best for you.
Broadcasting from the Anytime Auto Sales, Service and Detail Studio. Sales, service, and side-by-sides. This is Fox Sports Rapid City.
Welcome back in. Your Sports, Your Show on a Thursday. The Nate Brown Show live on Fox Sports Rapid City. National college football writer, footballscoop.com. I hit it every day. It's an everyday thing. These guys do good work. Footballscoop.com. Zach Barnett is back on the Nate Brown Show. Pac-12 hiring a new commissioner. Now, it's interesting. One of his main focuses, it looks like, in his press conference today was, hey, we got to get football figured out. We got to get football figured out. I think that's on the right track here. He was the president of sports entertainment at MGM in Vegas. That's the new commissioner of the Pac-12, Zach Barnett, on tonight. Zach, thanks for coming on. How are you?
Doing well. Thank you for having me.
What was your take on, hey, I didn't know this guy, I have to say. I didn't know this guy. I'm a Vegas guy, by the way, but I didn't know the president of MGM Sports and Entertainment was going to be the Pac-12 commissioner, so it came out of left field for me. What was your take on the hire?
Yeah, my initial reaction when all I knew about the guy was his name was, oh my gosh, they just hired Larry Scott 2.0. What are they doing? And then he spoke to the public today, and I liked, I'd say 80% of what he said. And what you touched on, acknowledging the elephant in the room, that the Pac-12 has to fix football, and everything else then flows after that is the most important step. Because, previously when you get a president or when you get Larry Scott, it'd be, oh yeah, well, there was just so much hesitation within the Pac-12 to admit that football is not just one of the 25 sports on campus. It is by far the most important. And arguably more important. I mean, I wouldn't even say arguably more important than the other 24 combined. It is the wellspring by which every other sport on campus, save for men's basketball, drinks from. So to have the commissioner come out and say that, and that the conference's biggest weakness is that they're not performing in revenue sports, was a step in the right direction. That said, I was a little bit concerned when he was asked to list his priorities, and he said first and foremost the first and foremost was the well-being of the student athletes, which, kind of like asking a Christian, a Christian saying their favorite book is the Bible. It's kind of what you have to say,
right?
And while also being the right answer. And then his second answer was revenue, and then his third answer was fixing football. And while those two things are, inexorably linked, there's a lot of yin and yang there. Ultimately, if you have a compelling football product, that will fix your finances, and there's no way really to financial jujitsu your way out of an uncompelling football product. So that was a little bit concerning when he said that he was going to tap into Silicon Valley to help fix football. That was a little bit concerning. But other than that, everything else he said I thought was what needed to be said.
Okay, so why do you think Larry Scott, the former commissioner of the Pac-12, Larry Scott, and you say really that was the leadership there, why didn't Larry Scott and I guess others in the Pac-12 realize football is the deal? It is the deal. Why wasn't that ever really realized or materialized?
Well, I think a lot of it was Larry Scott's just not a football guy, never has been, never will be. Not to say that he was antagonistic towards it, but I mean, he came from the Women's Tennis Association. His deal was to please his bosses, which are obviously the Pac-12 presidents, and to leave the place richer than he found it. And so that was pushing into China and a lot of things that made the Pac-12 look forward-thinking, while not to say that football was forgotten, but when push comes to shove, it was pitching the image of the Pac-12 as this most well-rounded conference. And so it was pitching the image of what the Pac-12 presidents want their athletics departments to be, which was where football is just one room in the house, not the entire house. And so I think that was a lot of it. It was just a lot of it, the thinking flows from the presidents on down.
Zach Barnett, footballscoop.com, talking new Pac-12 commissioner. I do want to ask you about this. Does the new Pac-12 commissioner, George Kliavkoff, he comes from MGM in Vegas there, does he think he just gets out of this through getting in the college football playoff? It sounded like that solves all of our ills.
I don't think so. I think he was very clear that the Pac-12 does need to get itself an automatic bid to the playoff. But he also was very open that the Pac-12 is going to do everything it can to get Pac-12 networks wherever people are watching, wherever people's eyeballs go. He wants to start renegotiating the TV deals as soon as he can. Those TV deals were top of the market when Larry Scott first signed them, and then now they are very much not. I think he definitely knows that it's not just, the playoff isn't going to just fix everything. I think it's going to certainly help, but that's not a be-all, end-all.
Zach Barnett on talking Pac-12. When it comes down to it, do you think we just ultimately get there with the Power 5 getting the automatic berth? That seems the way we're going here over the last month or two, is this expansion talk. That means we're going to get automatic bids here, right? And that does mean, okay, Oregon, after they lose once, or USC or whoever, they still are intriguing the rest of the way if they can win the Pac-12 and get in the playoff.
Yeah, it's very much turning college football into the other sports in that 1, 2, even 3 losses doesn't doom you. So I think there's, if you put the sports gun to my head, I'd say the most likely outcome would be an 8-team deal with 5 auto bids, the group of 5 bids, and the two at-large bids. I think that's the most likely, but I wouldn't put it above 50%, just because There's a lot of different ideas out there. Everybody is arguing for their own best interest here. Greg Sankey, the SEC commissioner, has been very vocal that, hey, we're totally fine with the 4-team model as it is. We don't necessarily need to change it. So does he really believe that, or is he angling for the SEC to get special consideration? Who knows? So it could be 8 teams with, we're just taking the top 8 like it is now. It could be 10 teams. It could be 12. The pie chart is a lot more sliced up, I think, than the average fan assumes.
Interesting. Last one for you, Zach Barnett, footballscoop.com. He has a piece up there on the new Pac-12 commissioner today. George Kliavkov comes from MGM in Vegas, the president of sports and entertainment. No college sports experience, but it'll be interesting. They say the new prototype for the future of college sports leadership. What is his biggest challenge with the presidents? That's who he's working for, Zach. What's his biggest challenge here with the presidents in the Pac-12?
Well, the biggest challenge is certainly getting them to realize that football is not just a one mouth at the teat of the mother dog. It is the mother dog. If you look at the Pac-12, they say a lot, well, we're not the SEC, as if that makes them superior. And I'm sure if you took an aggregate of the academic rankings as the Pac-12 and the SEC, the Pac-12 would come out ahead. But they're not as far ahead as they would have been 20 years ago. Alabama has certainly gotten better as a university today than it was in 2001. I think same for Georgia, same for Ole Miss, same for Arkansas, same for LSU. And that didn't happen in spite of football. All of that happened because of football. The SEC is so much more well-rounded as a conference today than it's ever been. It's very much the Pac-12's rival in terms of in softball. It's a women's basketball power. It's by far and away the best baseball conference. They just won their first women's volleyball national championship. So all of that happened because the football is doing so well. It's not an adversarial, and it's not an equal relationship. It's when football succeeds, it's not at the expense of the other sports. It's to the enrichment of the other sports.
Great breakdown. Footballscoop.com, national college football writer Zach Barnett. Find him on Twitter at Zach_Barnett. Give him a follow there. Pac-12 new leadership will be interesting to watch. Zach, thanks a lot. I always appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it. Zach Barnett on the Nate Brown Show. Footballscoop.com. That's the place I go. Check it out. Great site. They do a lot of good work. National college football writer Zach Barnett here tonight. You see, he was just kind of touching on this, and that wasn't really going to relate to what I was talking about with universities not getting it. I'm going to fight this battle. I'm going to fight this battle from D1 to D2 to D3. You have to have a good sports program in order to have a thriving university. There's a few niches here and there. There is. I'm not going to tell you the MIT and some of these Ivy League places are, they got to have great sport. Okay. There's some niches there. Okay. Full on academic, head to the ground, that type of thing. But sports is the front porch of your university. That's what it is. And Zach Barnett just touched on it. The Pac-12, they don't get that football is the bulldog. It feeds the bulldog. It's football. It's not lacrosse. It's not cross country. It's not swimming. You better start getting after it in the football side and taking it really, really serious. It just feels like the Pac-12 just didn't quite take it even as serious in this past year. You remember that, right? Pac-12 late to the game. We're not as crazy as the SEC. Those guys are just doofuses, right? And so Pac-12 kind of we're smart. We're gonna do things at our own pace, and they just don't quite get it from a sports business model. Football feeds the bulldog there in D1 sports. Unless you're a Duke, okay? There's some basketball programs that have taken over, but those are few and far between. Okay, a Kansas, a Duke, some of those. Otherwise, football feeds the bulldog, and the Pac-12 new commissioners got to realize, okay, we got to get cranking here. We got to get the seat at the table in the college football playoff. We got to get this going because Pac-12 football-wise is considered way below Big Ten, SEC, and even Big 12, I will tell you. Even Big 12. And that's why I believe Hartford, little Hartford, who has a Division I, okay, basketball program, goes to the March Madness tournament, and they decide to call it quits and go to D3. I don't buy that one. Ruins the fabric of the university, ruins the camaraderie, the connections of the alumni. It just does. They're going to go through more headaches over the next couple of years than they would have, trying to, okay, let's figure out, okay, should we go D3 or should we try and do some other things to play this smart and stay D1 because our program just got on national TV and the exposure? They have to decide what university they want to be. That's my point. My point is Hartford's decided they're going to be an entirely different university now. There's some colleges that are commuter colleges. They don't want to be UConn. They're going to be Little Hartford now. And it feels like on the sports side, they were trying to, advance a little bit. Got in the tournament, got a bigger brand, got another great team. That feeds all the other programs and the university as a whole. That's my point with the big picture of college sports. My point with the big picture of college sports is it's not a line item saying football or basketball loses us this much money. Okay? What baseball loses us this much money. You should look at the benefit of those programs to the university's mission as a whole. Going from D1, mates in the tournament, to then sending an email to go D3, I don't buy that one. And I'm telling you, the alumni, by all accounts, I look at that story the last couple of days, the alumni at Hartford, they're not buying it either. Good luck. Coming right back with Brian Henson, Argus leader. High school baseball in South Dakota. Are we close to sanctioning or are we way off? Something tells me, I got a new headline here. High school baseball in South Dakota might be way off. Brian Henson from Sioux Falls next.
You're listening to The Nate Brown Show, streaming live at FoxSportsRapidCity.com and right here on 106.7 FM and 1150 AM Fox Sports Rapid City.
Rapid City Paintless Dent Repair is your local hail damage repair specialist with over 20 years of experience restoring cars to their pre-hail condition. Don't lose 30% of your resale value by having a body shop repaint it. Rapid City Paintless Dent Repair offers better resale value, has quick turnaround, and includes a lifetime guarantee on their work. The guys at Rapid City Paintless Dent Repair are trusted locals with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau, offering free estimates and are conveniently located downtown. Remember them when it hails.
We all know life's busy, and if you get sick, you can get behind pretty quick. That's where Black Hills Urgent Care comes in. No appointments needed, no long waits, just fast, affordable care to get you feeling better quicker. Black Hills Urgent Care has 2 locations in Rapid City on Haynes Avenue and Mountain View Road. You can simply check in online at bhucare.com. That's with the letter U, bhucare.com. When you need care, see the team at Black Hills Urgent Care, the faster way to get better.
For nearly 100 years, Connex has been providing the know-how and materials to help their neighbors grow. Through partnerships with builders, homeowners, and contractors, Connect Home Centers have impacted our communities, making them stronger and safer through support of local organizations and neighborhood beautification projects. Improving the quality of life for others is important to us. We are Connect Home Center, your hometown lumberyard lending a helping hand in building our communities since 1928.
My part-time service in the Army National Guard makes it possible for me to be more for the community I call home. I'm a better neighbor because my service has taught me how important it is to be a team player. My training helps me in my classes when I give attention to detail to the task at hand. My service also allows me to be there for my community in ways others can't. I help my hometown recover after nature strikes. My service in the Army National Guard allows me to keep my country and those I care about safe from threats. I also work with a network of professionals that help me succeed. Also, the Army National Guard's education benefits make getting a higher education a reality. Being an Army National Guard soldier makes living and serving in my community more rewarding every day. Learn more about how you too can live and serve part-time close to home by visiting NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by the South Dakota Army National Guard. Aired by the South Dakota Broadcasters Association and this station.
Broadcasting from the Anytime Auto Sales, Service, and Detail Studio. Sales, service, and side-by-sides. This is Fox Sports Rapid City.
Welcome back in the Nate Brown Show on a Thursday. We're back tomorrow, of course, at 4 on a Friday. A couple of days out from the FCS National Championship on ABC. South Dakota State against Sam Houston. So, talked to the Sam Houston head coach this week. We talked to John Stiegelmeier today. Jackrabbits trying to win their first national title at the FCS level. Boy, I'm sure glad they didn't go back to D2. Oh, boy, it costs a lot. It costs a lot of money. You better be careful. Oh, you better talk to Mr. Sanford one more time. You got to be careful. Don't spend too much money and don't go on ABC in the national championship. Boy, it's cost too much. I'm sorry. I'm just on this kick here today. I'm just on this kick. I got a lot of text messages coming in on what do you think of universities that cut sports or go D1 to D3 because of, quote, finances. You know, it just costs us too much money. I have a strong opinion on that, obviously. A lot of good text messages from you. I can't get to them all on the air, but I've got them here. We'll get into this and, see if we can continue the discussion. Brian Henshin's on. He covers high school sports and USD, by the way, for the Argus Leader in Sioux Falls. Let's talk some SD preps with Brian Henshin, who's back on the Nate Brown Show. Brian, how are you?
I'm good, buddy. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Answer that question of the day for me. My question is, I use the example of Hartford. They just made the NCAA men's basketball tournament, and then their coach got an email here the other day that said, hey, congrats, but we're going to go to D3 now. So we're going to go D1 to D3. The money's just an issue. So I say, what do you think of universities that cut sports or drop down a level? Bad call, or you understand it?
I understand it to an extent, especially when it's a smaller school. When it's a smaller school like that, I mean, what are you going to do? Especially in times like these with COVID and the financial impact that has had. I mean, sometimes it just doesn't make sense. And honestly, if it were up to me, I would rather see a school drop down to D3 or D2 and still retain sports than cut sports. I think cutting sports is a problem, and I kind of have a problem with that.
Here's a little
especially when it's a big school.
Little news flash, though. Little news flash. They're gonna think this is gonna save them all this money. Guess what, Brian? Their support's gonna go down like you wouldn't believe. It's gonna go down like you wouldn't believe. People that were supporting this, even at whatever level they are, they're gonna drop out. So they're not even gonna have enough money to go D3, Brian. That's the problem. You're cutting off your nose to spite your face.
Maybe not. If you can do a good job selling your programs and get people to continue buying in and then have success,
they won't
at that level right away. I think that people will stay in there, and I think too, though, it's a case by case basis. You can't.
It is.
It's not something that you can paint with such a broad brush, because if a school's staying up at the D1 level, who knows? Maybe they're in a spot where it's going to bankrupt them, and it doesn't make sense. Or they go D1 and they're getting hammered all the time, and the support isn't there, and as a result, the money isn't there. It makes sense to go back down. It's just such a tricky thing. But I think in general, if it's what you have to do and drop down a level, fine, do it. Just try not to cut sports, because I think that's when you're really screwing over some kids at that point, and it's really, really unfortunate.
I'm going to tell you, I'm glad South Dakota State and USD are sticking with it, because guess what? They lose some money too. It might surprise people. They don't rake a bunch in either, and they're going to be on ABC on Sunday. All right, let me jump into this. High school baseball, I've discussed it a lot on the show. I think you got to take those steps to sanction it. I really do. You wrote a big piece on this, ArgusLeader.com. It feels like there's not a lot of momentum. Is that fair?
Yeah, that's absolutely fair. And that surprised me a bit, just because of softball. But then, when I dug into it, it makes more sense upon hearing the reasoning. With softball, with South Dakota being the only state out of the 50 without sanctioned softball, it was becoming a Title IX issue, and USA Softball actually reached out to the Activities Association and said, hey, we'll do whatever we need to help make this happen. Let's do it. So obviously, there's a lot more push there too, I think, just from fans and coaches. With baseball, I think part of it's a budgetary thing, just that some of the smaller schools and other schools that can't afford it. And then also it's interesting, and just that there isn't as much support even among the coaches, at least just from the people that I've talked to. I haven't had a chance to talk to everybody. But it seems like there is within the Sioux Falls area, like the Sioux Falls coaches that I messaged with, they're interested in getting it sanctioned. I didn't get a chance to talk to anybody out west, but I think the magic number for them is 12. And the one coach that I talked to, I think he put the number of coaches who would be in favor of it. At the time that he was coaching, around like 50%, which is leaving about, I think, 8 coaches or whatever at the AA rank. So it's surprising. That there just hasn't been that energy, that push there to get it sanctioned. But on the other side of that, I mean, the organization that's running it now has done a really good job, and that was a theme persistent throughout everybody that I talked to, was that they're doing a great job. It's just, that state sanctioning, it adds another layer of, not legitimacy, but it makes it a little bit of a bigger deal, both within the school and I think just in general. Like, it's cool to say that you won a state team championship instead of a club sport championship.
That is, I believe that too. You're playing for your school. I'm a big believer in that. I love playing for your school, that community, having that on your jersey. I love that side of it. But I'm going to say this. There's some discrepancy going on here. I talked to the Harrisburg head coach. He wants to do it. He wants to sanction it. He says, hey, we got the Legion program. We got the high school program. I'd want to sanction it. But then there's big pockets here of some programs that just aren't even close to being competitive. We're having some trouble in Rapid City because the players that play Legion aren't playing high school. And it's a big, big gap there. It feels like East River, some teams are cranking, and then you got Aberdeen and Watertown. They aren't playing anymore. They're not even doing high school baseball anymore. It seems like it's all over the map.
It is. It's such a weird thing, baseball in the state. I mean, we talked about it the last time I was on, where it's just the place that baseball holds in the state between amateur ball, the roots obviously with Legion baseball. Just the fact that high school baseball here isn't sanctioned is still just very bizarre to me. But two, I mean, with the Legion point, in talking to Dan Swartos, he said back before his time when Wayne Carney was in charge, the hang-up was, well, Legion was concerned about, conflicts between the high school season and the Legion season. Well, you look at it now, that's a pretty easy thing to work around. They're doing it now. There's no conflict between the Legion and the high school season. So that seems like a non-issue at this point. I think it just comes down to money and interest. It's chicken or an egg argument at that point, which is going to come first. Will either one come first? Who knows? But yeah, I wouldn't say anything's imminent.
So baseball a ways off, not a ton of momentum or at least consistency there. Softball, the steering committee started, Brian, and it feels like that's going to get done, right? Softball?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I would bet the house, bet the farm, bet everything on softball getting done. So please clip this off and save it for when something happens and it doesn't, just like the football classifications. But like I said, at this point, it's a Title IX issue where you're the only state that doesn't have state-sanctioned softball. That's going to lead to some potential Title IX issues. So there's that. And then also the interest for softball versus baseball is just a lot different. That's the sport that people have been calling for most to get sanctioned is softball. Among everything that they get calls to get sanctioned, softball's been number one. So it's kind of been on the back burner for a long time, and it's just now the stars aligned finally that they're able to make it happen. And yeah, like you said, I think with the steering committee, that's obviously step one. There are a few questions that they're going to have to answer, like how do you set up the season? Do you have Class A, the big schools playing in the fall, and then have the smaller schools playing in the spring when there's less, scheduling conflicts for kids trying to play multiple sports? How do you handle it? But other than that, I mean, it seems like it's going to be pretty easy for them to get it all together, put it in place, and we'll have state-sanctioned softball here for the next enrollment cycle after this one-off cycle.
Brian Henson, ArgusLeader.com. Good piece on high school baseball. South Dakota Preps writer on Twitter at Brian_Henson. Brian, man, thanks a lot. I always appreciate it.
Absolutely, buddy. I'll talk to you later.
All right, good stuff. Brian Henson tonight, Argus Leader in Sioux Falls here on the Nate Brown Show, Fox Sports Rapid City. All right. Who's hot and who's not? We got to do this. The Kansas City Chiefs are in my who's hot category? Oh, no. How can I do that? You say I'm not honest. You say I'm not upstanding. a Broncos fan putting the Chiefs in my Who's Hot category tonight, and a Minnesota team is in my Who's Not. Oh, man, that's next.
The Nate Brown Show.
Have you hit a pothole or curb with your car? Does your vehicle need an adjustment or have an alignment, shock, or strut issue? Black Hills Tire is your one-stop shop for complete automotive service and repair in the Black Hills area. Trust your vehicle with no one else but Black Hills Tire. Contact Weston, Denise, and the guys at Black Hills Tire, where honesty, reliability, and safety is their top priority. Black Hills Tire voted the #1 shop for automotive repair and brake repair and tire store in the Black Hills. Ask about their free pickup and delivery. Black Hills Tire. Check them out online at blackhillstire.com.
Here at Pizza Ranch, we believe in happy accidents, like in 1964, when a Buffalo, New York restaurant owner accidentally bought chicken wings instead of chicken necks. The 60s were a crazy time. Well, decades later, and the mistake-turned masterpiece is now at Pizza Ranch. Introducing our new traditional and boneless chicken wings, tossed in our signature sauces. 2 more ways to get the country's best chicken available for carryout and delivery. Maybe it wasn't an accident after all, just delicious fate. Pizza Ranch.
Ever since Barron's Wilson Funeral Home first opened their doors in Rapid City 140 years ago, they have continued to make personal service their #1 priority. In your time of grief, they offer a personal touch by being at your side through every step of the funeral process. They answer difficult questions and guide you toward other professional services you may need. See for yourself the wide variety of services they can provide for you by visiting their website at barronswilson.com.
Broadcasting from the Anytime Auto Sales, Service, and Detail Studio. Sales, service, and side-by-sides. This is Fox Sports Rapid City.
All right, let's wrap this up on a Thursday night, man. We've been packed tonight. We got to roll. We got to roll. Cinch to the Odd Couple, all right? Hang on. The Nate Brown Show, Who's Hot and Who's Not, brought to you by the Pizza Ranch every night at this time. Get you plugged in. A little story you need to know on the Who's Hot side, on the Who's Not side. It's brought to you by the Pizza Ranch. The wings, have you hit them? Hit the wings this weekend. Would you try the wings if you haven't? PizzaRanch.com. Carry out or delivery. 2 locations in Rapid City. Who's Hot category? My goodness, the Kansas City Chiefs, they just fleeced the Vikings. The Chiefs just fleeced the Vikings today. The Kansas City Chiefs made a trade with the Vikings. All they had to do was swap 6th round and 7th round picks. They just swapped 6th and 7th round picks next year. Okay, so they swapped that. That's the even trade. But then the Chiefs got former first-round pick Mike Hughes, the corner for Mike Zimmer's defense. I know he's been hurt. I know there's been some hiccups. This is a former first-round corner. Give him another chance, Minnesota. Hang on to him. You're going to give him away? You're going to give him away on a rookie deal? A first-round pick to the Chiefs at corner? If Mike Hughes plays for the Chiefs and does well, this is the worst trade I've seen in a long time. They swap picks, 6th and 7th round, and then that was the headline. Oh, yeah, and the Chiefs get former first-round cornerback for the Vikings, Mike Hughes. My goodness. My goodness. Let's pump the brakes there. Oh, he's hurt. He's been inconsistent. He's hurt. Just mail it in with Mike. The Chiefs coming to play. In my Pizza Ranch Who's Not category tonight, I guess I'll go with Minnesota. Sorry, not the Vikings. The Twins and the Timberwolves. Here it is. The Twins are 12-23. It's the worst record in baseball today. The Twins are 12-23. They've lost 4 in a row. It's the worst record in baseball. The AL and the NL. That's not good. And to leave you with this, the Minnesota Timberwolves owner, Glenn Taylor, sold the team today. He made it official to Alex Rodriguez and his business partner. Here it is. Minnesota sports fans, I hope you're happy. The Timberwolves made the playoffs once since 2004. They've made the playoffs once since 2004. So that team can't be worth that much, right? Glenn Taylor bought the Timberwolves for $88 million. And he sold them today for $1.5 billion. A 1,600% increase. And he made the playoff once. Good business play, Glenn. Good business play. Back tomorrow on a Friday.